2020 has brought unprecedented challenges to our country, our state, and our community. It's affected and impacted many industries, including the restaurant industry. PACTV's InFocus takes a look at how the state-mandated shutdown has impacted the restaurant community in Plymouth.
When the order first came down, I don't think many people were surprised because people were aware of coronavirus, they were of COVID-19, they were that people were being tested, that people were being found to be positive, that it was spreading, that it had been seen in other states. So I don't think it came as a surprise to people. I think everyone was wishful thinking that for some reason it would magically not come to Plymouth, but it did, and it came to the state of Massachusetts. So everyone had to follow accordingly with the governor's orders.
The hurdles that COVID-19 brought to our company, I feel like the first thing is uncertainty, the unknown. To go through your days and your weeks and not know, or when some employee calls me or emails me and has a very important question and a real question and I say, I don't know, when are we going to be open? When do you think I'll be able to come back to work? And I don't know.
When the shutdown happened, it was kind of surreal because nothing like that ever happened. So you just have to go with it and figure it out. And literally it was like a day-to-day process.
Restaurants were able to operate in phases, starting with takeout and delivery and curbside pickup, all with strict safety guidelines and training for staff.
We have almost 300 restaurants in the town of Plymouth. And it was a threat. Their business was threatened. There's no other way of saying it.
There was the overall fear. There was so much unknown and to not have answers, to not know whether the company was going to be able to make it. So we were always trying to keep ahead of it, but we were keeping ahead of something we didn't really know what was coming.
When the orders first began, the restaurants could not have any traffic inside of their establishment, nor could anyone linger outside the establishment. They were limited to deliveries or curbside pickup.
The owners met with the CFO, and then they immediately called a meeting with all the GMs. We sat around this table in this room, and we were all here, and there wasn't time to panic because they had a plan. And it was like, listen, this is what we're going to do. So I think because of the way they reacted, and no, we didn't have all the answers, but we knew we were in it together, and we knew that no one else in the world had answers, so it was going to be okay, because it had to be okay.
There have been a couple of restaurants during the takeout and curbside delivery option only that financially couldn't do that. Because even to do that, you have to bring in a certain amount of food. And you have to bring in a certain amount of people to work in your restaurant in order to cook and prepare the food. And some of the smaller places just could not keep up with that in order to do such a minimal business as curbside and delivery.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts reopening guidelines for restaurants lists all the safety protocols establishments must adhere to and centers around social distancing, hygiene, staffing and operations, and cleaning and disinfecting. Each restaurant must comply with all guidelines.
The restaurants definitely had some hurdles. There's no self-serve coffee, there's no self-serve drinks, there's no self-serve salad bars, there's no buffets.
We're in the hospitality business. We're used to accommodating and pleasing everyone, and we've been put into restraints. I can't even go up to a table and smile because my mask is on, and that's not welcoming to us. But everyone else has the mask, and I hope they can see the smile through the eyes.
We did deliveries previously, but just for big tray orders. We weren't a delivery business or a curbside business. So we adapted the takeout to include delivery and curbside. Once we could open the outdoors, it was taking some tables away to make every 6 feet. We put in a patio out back, which is something we hadn't done, so that's definitely something new. It's like opening another whole restaurant. So it's been a good gradual process, but as far as all the guidelines specifically, can be pretty taxing. A lot of thinking, making sure we sanitize every surface, every doorknob, every light switch. It's like just sanitation was very much in our minds.
I have to say, as the public health director here in Plymouth, kudos to my restaurants. They have been absolutely wonderful. It's such a difficult situation to put them in. It's their livelihood. It's the people who work for them, their livelihood. People like to go to restaurants. They like to go out to eat. But they have been absolutely wonderful. It's difficult. It impacted them financially. And we all understand that, but they were understanding of what the regulations were. They asked questions if they needed clarification. And they were patient.
Among safety restrictions and profit concerns, establishments always had their staff on their minds.
Probably one of our biggest hurdles was the staffing and just having enough at the time. When all this started, you don't know what's coming. You don't know the volume. You don't know how it's going to be. So we sort of learned as we went. And with every phase, you adjust and figure it out. And we have a lot of staff here that have been here a long time. I mean, they range from high school kids, college kids, married people with kids, single moms.
There's that whole, are we going to lose people? Is anyone going to get sick? Just when they got used to something, we had to tell them we're changing it again. And I kept saying the new normal, to the point where I was like, okay, we have to forget all that. Now we're doing this. And we adapted to it, embraced it, and we rocked it.
When outdoor seating was allowed, town officials worked with local establishments and turned Plymouth's Main Street into a one-way to accommodate restaurants that could utilize the sidewalk for outdoor seating, such as New World Tavern and Martini's. Then in early July, restaurants were able to use their inside space as well. Several new COVID safety standards had to be followed.
When the restaurants were allowed to have outdoor dining, I have to say that this is when the town and the restaurants really started working together, because we had to think outside the box. Because there were some restaurants that had huge parking lots and they could put up tables and chairs in their parking lots, and that was great. And then there were some restaurants that had nothing, that they had a sidewalk. So the town really worked together with the restaurants to say, you know what, we'll let you extend your business onto public property in order for you to try this outdoor dining to try to keep you in business.
The town has been great. They reached out to us as far as accommodating curbside, how to help us with that. Obviously the waterfront at this time of year is busy, so parking was an issue for customers, and no one wants to park way down the street just to pick up a pizza and things like that. So they were great in helping us. They were great with information. I think all around the community is adapting and adjusting, and the attitude towards local businesses have been really, really good.
We recognize what kind of restraints you've all been under. So we're going to do our part to make it, as much as we can, help to get those restaurants back on their feet. And we did. And if you can go down Main Street, you'll see it. There are some restaurants that have tables and chairs on the sidewalks. That's public property, but they filled out applications and they told us what they were planning on doing, and the town approved them. The selectmen, right on board, within 24 hours, approved every single one of those applications so those restaurants could start doing outdoor dining.
The restaurant industry has certainly been challenged through the state shutdown. Some establishments have closed permanently, some have had to postpone opening, and others have worked hard to adapt to this new, unprecedented way of doing business.
I think we're on a new normal. I don't think we're ever going to see what it was like prior to the arrival of coronavirus here in Plymouth and in Massachusetts, but I do want to say that I think that our residents, our guests, our business owners, and our administration are doing a phenomenal job of making sure that everyone is prepared and comfortable with the new normal.
It goes right from our loyal and dedicated staff right to our loyal and dedicated community. They supported us. It was just amazing, the thank yous and praise you got, or just like, hang in there, we're thinking of you. So it's been amazing.
This is definitely a time for the books. And we'll look back, and it'll be very interesting to see moving forward just how it's going to look, and just if it's ever going to be exactly like it was. Probably not. But I learned a lot, both about the business and about myself and my abilities, and You just use it in a positive way and move forward.
I've really seen a lot of camaraderie, and I've seen a lot of, well, I have this and I'll give this to you, and what about you guys? Do you need something like this? Or how's your staff doing? Or, someone need a job? Because I could use them over here. And, it's just really been incredible. I mean, we've lost so much, I think, because of this. I mean, it was supposed to be our 400th anniversary. We had so much to look forward to. But what really happened too was that I saw people being kind, and I saw people helping each other, and I think that's amazing.